see here. Uh-oh. I'm hitting it with my own. That was me. Can't blame that on anybody else. That was me. Well, I don't see anybody coming on yet. Let's see. The announcement just came on. Let's see here. Okay. Well, I thought it'd be interesting for us to talk. Thanks for coming back to Love, Strength, Beauty Tarot. It's Priestess and Medium Rosalind. And how are you? What's going on with you today? I figured I'd come on and talk to you all. I've had an interesting day today. I wanted to share with you some of the things that, went on with me today. It's really cold where I'm at. That's one thing that's very interesting. Okay, and let me just get my readers ready in case someone does chime in on the chat. Because, when you're doing chat sometimes on YouTube, the chats, the letters are so tiny, and then everything moves kind of quick too. Okay, let's see. And sometimes it'll just kind of flash, and I didn't feel like going to get my pad either to look at it. It would be bigger on my pad though. Okay. So how are you all doing? Today it's been an interesting day today. I was really compelled to go and do something today. So I went ahead and I did it, okay? And it is kind of a serious thing. So this was to do with a balloon release. And those, I think it's wonderful for people to have those because it does allow, it's like when the person transitions, they still are able to know and understand that people are thinking of them, and people say really good things about them, and they're gathering to kind of support the loved ones who are still, who are still here and still kind of going through things, and I thought that was pretty good because it was kind of a sad situation. So I'm not going to get into too many of the details of why, or what happened, to make that situation come about because it's kind of serious, But I do have that much to say that I wanted to go. It was freezing cold outside. The colors were pink, white, and purple, which I thought was beautiful for a girl, right? Those are beautiful colors. And everyone was really in the mood to uplift the family. That was really good. And it's where I grew up at. It's it's my hometown where I grew up at. So I went to show my support, and someone else went with me. So that was awesome, right? That was awesome. Someone else went with me, so I didn't have to, just go by myself because I was thinking I was going to be a little more, kind of emotional about it. But I'm glad that I went, and it was freezing cold. It's freezing cold here today in Michigan. It is freezing cold. It's like 25. So I don't know where you all are, but in Michigan, sometimes it'll change back over like the other part of winter. Because through February and the early part of March, we had some days that were like, especially in March, we had some days that were like 50, 55 degrees. When those days come, we're like, yes, yes, we know spring is on its way. But you cannot plan too early. You cannot go buy all the flowers too early if you're going to plant in your yard, which I know some of you might do that. Some of you might be really gardeners. You might like to do kitchen witchery, where you're planting rosemary, basil, things like that. You're planting them in your garden inside your home. And you can use those for your root work. When you grow your own things for your root work and for your herb baths, your spiritual baths, for your herbs you're putting in your oils and everything, oh, that's very powerful. That is very powerful. That's like something that, wow, even if you're going to just grow them to make teas, because I drink all kinds of teas: mint tea, lavender tea, rose tea, skullcap, lemongrass. I drink all different herbal teas. Those things are powerful. And I'm going to adjust myself. I'm going to adjust myself because, yeah, that's better. Okay. I feel better. Yeah, those things are very potent, and they're very like, you can tell the difference between something you've grown and you're going to work with it for tea or healing, your root work, your witchcraft, whatever you're doing with it, it's going to work much more potently. You're going to have like this connection with it. And that's the way it was made to be. That was the way it was made to be, because the herbs and the roots and plant life back in ancient times, when we were all created, okay, by God, we were all created. That was one of the agreements between plants and man, that plants were going to help us heal. Okay, so imagine that. That's powerful, isn't it? That's super powerful. That was an agreement, and herbs and roots, they help us. It's the basis of modern day medicine, is the herbs and the roots first. Okay, then it's amplified with copper and all these different things to amplify the actual property of the plant. I don't know if you know that, but that's how medicine came to be. Okay, that's how medicine came into existence. So yeah, so it was freezing cold. um we left very good things to say about it, a feeling of just doing what's right, supporting people, even if you don't know the people directly, still just kind of showing up and showing some love for people and donating, if you feel compelled to donate for different things. So pay attention to that if you do feel the need to, just show you care. So pay attention to that. I'm very happy for them now that so many people have come through to support them, because the loss in the family is huge, huge. And there's so many families that have experienced that in the past 2 years. I'm going to drink some water. My mouth is dry. Mm. So yesterday I started working again on my smudge feathers, and I don't know if any of you all have like a thing you do that feels connected to you, and it's something to do with a craft, or something you really like to do, like painting, um, even adult coloring, because I do have adult colorings. I've shared those on the community page. I like to adult color. It's good for you too. Um, just creating things. It doesn't have to be really expensive, but a lot of us, we need that, especially if you're empathic, if you're spiritual. You may find a lot of comfort in being able to um, craft things, put things together. For me, it's herbal and root work, and then it's painting, colors, working with different things, working with flowers, working with feathers, different colors. My smudge feathers, they're always very important to me. If you do have a craft that you like to work with, or you think you want to do something like that that's spiritual for you, pay attention to the moon. Pay attention to the moon cycles, okay? That's very important, and it helps you to connect and to amplify, okay? It helps you to connect and to amplify. If you're working with a deity, you probably want to work certain days of the week, okay? Because there's deities and archangels, and they usually have some correspondences with certain days of the week. So pay attention to that also, okay? Because it's important to, if you do have that interest, and you notice that you keep having this interest, like, you don't have to be professional. You don't have to be like some professional person or professional worker to have a connection in your life to, what's going on, the healing you might need, the healing someone in your family might need, you know, the that feeling, that intuition, that gut feeling. It's okay to explore that and find out basic good information, and it's going to help you. It's going to help you to feel more secure in that, more grounded in that. Okay. And we can all use that. Think about all of us needing to feel grounded and safe and secure. It's a lot of us that need that. Okay, it's a lot of us that need that. I wanted to show you a book. Okay, I wanted to show you a book. Um, I like it because it's not for any one group of people in particular. Okay, and this is a book that I would read. I look into um, as much as maybe someone else. You know, like it could be like my cousins who feel that they're traditional Christians, okay? Or it could be someone else, you know, at work. So they're going, you know, they have something going on with them, and you can share these kinds of things with them because they're good basic prayers, and they're prayers that are used in different types of situations, with manifesting, with your own spiritual beliefs, the words you want to use, you know, even switching out. You know, if you want to say divine creator, say it. If you don't want to say Lord or other words like that. If you want to say mother and father God, switch it out, you know, for saying just one, you know, one being. So you can think of it that way. And that will help you to be kind of on that wavelength of really manifesting or really getting the pure importance of the reason why. Do you see what I'm saying? That pure importance of the reason why you're saying the prayers in the first place, or why you're seeking help in the first place. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is a little bit different because, you know, every time that I come on, I may not come on with, you know, a tarot reading, but it's a good thing to connect, right? It's a good thing to, you know, get to know one another, speak to one another, right? So this book is called The Collection of Selected Prayers. See this? It's the collection of selected prayers. I'll bring it in a little closer. Okay, you can see it. I think you can see it. All right, and it's the original by Allan Kardec, okay, and then it was revised. The original book was by Allan Kardec, and it was revised and translated in 2004. Okay, Candida C. Gall, MSED. So she is an educator. Okay, so it was a need recognized for it to be translated, definitely. Okay, because maybe not very many people were able to read it. And it's like he had this ability to communicate, right, with spirit. And it's like he realized that a lot of people were kind of hindering themselves or suffering for no reason because they didn't know exactly, you know, how to put the suffering or the feeling or the need to a certain way to communicate it outwardly to the creator, okay, to the divine source, right? So his original work was in French, and then the spiritualism in all over the world, it grew and it expanded, and you know, it's like his beliefs, they affected more people, so then naturally it was translated, okay. um so the last sentences are, my hope is that this work will open for many more the gateway to true spiritual understanding. Okay, so you can get this on Amazon. I think that's the quickest way probably to see it and get it. That's how I got it. Okay, it's been some years now, but this is the book. Okay, so what I really like about this, okay, it was recommended to me by one of my spiritual mentors. Okay, and it's like it's a guide. It's a guide for whatever it is that you're working on, you're praying on. It helps you to put it more into the words of how it's feeling, looking, and how your understanding of it can be taken, you know, and manifested outward, so that you feel more connected, you feel more aligned, you have more of that feeling of taking care of things. Okay, and that was me. I was just moving some of my feathers. Okay, I gotten so many kinds of feathers because I'm going to start again with so many different kinds. I've made so many different kinds of smudge feathers, and it's just something I really enjoy doing. I work with different types of moon energy when I make them. So different intentions, right? Because we all have various intentions as we move along. Um, so in the contents, okay, I'm going to look through the contents and I'll give you some examples of what's in here, okay? There's prayers about the clairvoyance of, that you receive. Like when you came in, you had, some of us have this gift of clairvoyance. Okay, clairvoyance is it's more like the visual aspects, what we visualize. Claircognizance is like your own spiritual internal antennas, like you're knowing. And a lot of us have the knowing, like you already know something. You'll look at someone and you'll already pick up and sense on that. Or when you go walk into work that day, you already have a sense of what's happening, or when someone's telling you about an issue they had, you have that kind of gift of knowing what's really happening, okay? There's prayers for the peace in the home, okay? You see that? Prayers for peace in the home. That's huge, right? So if you're working on cleansing out your home, creating things to sage and smudge with and different resins, you're putting those together to cleanse your home, and you have this intention of bringing peace into your home. It doesn't matter if you're a Christian, a root worker, hoodoo practitioner, Catholic, it doesn't matter. You have that intention to bring peace in your home. Do you see what I'm saying? So that is a good way to look at this, like universally, okay? Then there's prayers for spiritual gatherings, okay? You see that? So spiritual gatherings could be that, everybody's getting together and it's Easter. Some people might get together and say, well, Ostara, you know. Some people might get together and say it's Saint so-and-so's day, okay? It's a spiritual gathering, literally, okay? Because holidays can be special like that to a lot of different people. So it's a prayer before the spiritual gathering, a prayer to have the peace in the home before the gathering. And then there's prayers to ending it, okay? So that you have the intention of people going and coming from your home and being safe and being covered and protected, okay? You have children. You want them to be safe, covered, and protected, right? So let's get a couple more examples out of here. Prayers for guardian angels and spiritual protectors. Now, have you ever thought of that? Praying for your guardian angels and your spiritual protectors, okay? Prayers for suffering souls. Prayers for people who are actually suffering, right? Now, that's interesting because the soul, it could be a person who's alive or someone who's transitioned, right? All right. Prayers of thanks for a special favor that was granted to you. So this is like praying for something you've always wanted, and it actually happened. It actually came true in this lifetime. So you're praying a special prayer of thanks for what was granted to you. Prayers to resist a temptation. Now that's a big one there, because I've done I did a talk. I talked about like actual because sex is such a basic kind of need for so many people. It's like it's a big way that you can get energy tossed around and get negative stuff, going, and you don't want that. So sometimes, you may not even want to deal with this person if that's all there is, and this isn't a really good person, it's not a decent person. So sometimes it's better to just you can't even have your energy, your time, your involvement going through that, because it's going to be so much backfiring on you. If you do that, sometimes it's better to just resist. Or if someone is, they're really struggling with something and they're trying to break a habit. You hear about people, breaking a habit, but really it's an addiction. And addiction is something that's really on a soul level. That's why it's so hard to break it. So there's prayers in here about resisting the temptation, not to even step into something anyway, because it messes with your spiritual self, like your higher self, the way that you're thinking, your vibration can be lower after you're doing those things that you're trying to avoid, etc. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Um, there's prayers to distance yourself from negative spirits. Okay, there's prayers to say before bed sometimes to help you have calmer, better sleep. There's prayers for newborns. Awesome, right? A lot of people want that. You want to make sure that there is some general prayers, some general guidelines, like to manifest these good things. And this is a good, it's got all of these topics in here. Okay, it's a good basic guideline. Okay, so because sometimes you need a guideline. Just like I said, you might be saying I'm such a Christian. I'm a Christian. You might be saying I like to, manifest. I like to use my candles and root work. You might be saying I'm a spiritualist and I like to work strictly with yoga, chakras, crystals. Either way, you still are speaking. You want to put your words and your intentions out there too. That really good high source of energy, that higher, your higher self, your higher frequency. So this is something that, you know, I just wanted to bring that in. And maybe in the future, I'll talk to you all about some other books I have too. Okay, so that's that one. Um, I also wanted to just say that it's always with me very much, very much. It's always with me that women, the feminine, um, we're usually identified by how much we're doing in our home and in our families, okay? And when we're always there for others. A lot of times we're there for others, and you have to have a go to. You have to have some sort of toolbox, some kind of spiritual um, uh, alignment, some kind of guideline that you normally go to somehow. Some kind of process for dealing with. Oh, this one, she had a bad breakup. It's bad. They were abusive back and forth. They seem like they're courted to one another. What to do? Because the problems aren't just between those two people, it's problems in the home and everything disrupted. When two people are, going back and forth, seem like they're courted to one another, not in a good relationship. What do you do? Okay. When it seems like this one is mentally like they get triggered over something and it seems really deep, like, why are they getting so triggered over that? Like, what is going on? It happens every time. And when they go too far with it, they're imbalanced with it, all this other negative shit happens. Okay. So what do you do? What do you go to? What is your thing that you align yourself to, and you kind of use it as your baseline for trying to get rid of that or take care of that within that person? Like, what's happening? How can we kind of soothe this, make it better? Okay, because it's not always giving all of yourself. You have to remember your self-care and your own baseline and your own clarity, and your balance, your thoughts. Um, what about this person? They get going and they go to jail every time. It's like, well, they going to jail. So then what is auntie gonna do? What is mama gonna do? What is granny gonna do? It's not usually what is uncle gonna do, what is dad gonna do, what is granddad. It's usually the feminine trying to work all of this stuff. So you have to realize how powerful you are. Okay. And it might not always look like something, from a doctor. It might not. It might look like something kind of spiritual, something kind of that you're working on and you're trying to help, because you might be able to catch something or identify something going with your gut and your intuition on healing or breaking that before it gets to be like, wow, this person's back in jail again. Okay, who got who got 1,500? How are we gonna deal with this? Do you see what I'm saying? Is your own basic power that's there. Your power is there. You're powerful. You're able to manifest. As long as you have some self love here, as long as you're doing self care, as long as you're going with a balanced mind, good energy, okay? So I want to always have that as like, you know, part of what is so important for us, right? And I'm not male bash. I'm not male bash. I don't do that on this channel. Um, but I want you to know how powerful that is, okay? I know there's men who watch my channel, and that's fine. I do readers for men too. All right. So I wanted to leave you with that. I feel like it's definitely spring coming, a lot of opportunities coming for everybody, manifesting and really walking their spiritual path. Really getting to know yourself, how you relax, what you need for your balance, what you need to know in your life. Okay. So I had a good time talking to you all. All right. I'm going to leave my information below and I'll talk to you again soon. Okay. Take care. Bye bye.